It's your boy Heems, and guys, today this will be our first video podcast. To everybody out there, guys, I hope y'all are having a great and beautiful morning. To everybody, as always, make sure you stay healthy, stay safe out there, both everybody that's working, you're interacting with family, if you're doing schooling and everything, guys, make sure you stay out there and be safe. But guys, today just came across a very interesting article from Kotaku. The Xbox Series X can run PS2 games? What a world we live in when Microsoft's next-gen console has better PlayStation backwards compatibility than the PlayStation 5. Both the Xbox Series S and X has a developer mode users can activate, which can let you run UWP, which stands for Universal Windows Protocol apps. That's an application designed to be able to run not just in Windows 10, but Xbox and Windows 10 mobile as well. That includes RetroArch, a famous front end for various emulators, which means that with a minimum of fuss, anyone with one of Microsoft's new consoles can kick back and play, say, a PlayStation 2 game or something from the GameCube library, if you prefer that instead. Modern Vintage Gamer has been putting this emulation workaround to test over the last weekend, and while there are catches in developer mode, the consoles can't use their full power, and the size of some games on some platforms is limited. That's still incredible emulation performance for such cheap and accessible machines. Guys, what is your thoughts on that so far? I mean, honestly, that's pretty cool, and it just opens up more of a door for the Xbox. Because right now, the whole process of everybody even talking about, or what we were led to believe as far as with Sony mentioned the whole backwards compatible, but they were so elusive, they didn't give no real concrete as far as what that backwards compatibility was going to be about. And it didn't come up until later that they were actually basically trying to say, well, basically it was going to be backwards compatible to the PS4. And with that, they were basically bumping it up and they were like, well, PlayStation 4 has 4,000 different titles, but what they're not saying to us is that these 4,000 so-called titles, maybe over 100, 200, maybe, depending on how many that PS4 had actually legitimately put out and that you'll have access to, is maybe around that benchmark. Anything else outside of that, the other 3,800 titles are either remasters, remakes, or even games that they finally just uploaded for the sake of the PS4. So on one hand, it's like, but they could sit here and throw out and say, well, yeah, but that is still kind of backwards. But it's like, if you get the disc-based version of the PS5, you won't be able to sit here and pop in you won't be able to pop in on PS3. You're not going to pop in on PS2. And they're even saying some games, they actually have a list of certain games that are at the moment compatible with the PS5, but not everything is exactly compatible with the PS5. It's still in the process of getting the updates and firmware and software to be able to be compatible. I remember even back in the day when I had the PlayStation 3, when the PS3 first came out, not every game was backwards compatible. And some games were super buggy, like when I played Devil May Cry 3. When I popped it in, a few parts of the game were good, but then it actually started to bug out, and that was one of my go-tos. I would love to go ham on that game. And literally the first boss fight with the Cerberus, like, it kept freezing. And it wasn't until maybe like about 4 or 5 years later, the PlayStation 3 now, it has a little bit of season on it. So then it's able to adjust. So, I mean, honestly, and the fact that Xbox is already buying up majority of the companies, they're really making a huge expansion. Because you even hear Spencer saying that he doesn't believe in this whole exclusives. He's basically trying to break down that barrier to where it pretty much just comes down to just personal preference. Are you more or less just Sony, just for the sake of Sony, or are you for Xbox? Earlier on, I stated that really the Xbox is a more of an economical deal because at the end of the day, look at even what you're getting. For one, the frame rates are good, the storage is good. They even have a deal now that if you actually look online, even though it's $800 in total, but you can also get the Xbox One with 32-month Game Pass, and you can also get one extra external storage, 1 terabyte. So I mean, even for 800, if you're only paying $40 a month, that's economical. Whereas a PlayStation wants you to cough up 500 right then and there. And so many people, including people like Tyrone Magnus, several of the streamers, have complained about glitches and bugs. And then they also put under the captions of like, Xbox has it too, and some things come out. Maybe it's more things that need to come out about it. Some people mention of it bricking or it won't accept the disc, but you really don't hear as much with the Xbox as you do with PlayStation. PlayStation, I even watched on a homie's friend that he was watching's Twitch, and you could literally see where it was constantly just cutting. Even issues with the save process where files are getting corrupted, not just with Ubisoft like Legion and like Valhalla, but just games in general. Imagine you just got this PS5 and you just went ham for like hours and hours, and then 12, however long you put, and you streamed in, all of a sudden you can't get on it. Like, they got to be able to do better than that. And then not to mention just the fact that even good luck being able to get the PS5 or even the Xbox at this point in time. So I mean, all in all, even just hearing that they have a developer mode that you can use, it's not necessarily a big mod type thing. It's just really more like an emulation, but it's like, just seeing that just a little bit, it's like, that's still pretty dope. Now, as far as will you be able to stream off of that, it didn't really go into details on this article, but it's probably ways around that, or of course, if you're using like the Elgato or the capture card, you'll more than likely be able to stream those games. So, I mean, I just feel like that's just another one up for the Xbox for me. But to everybody out there, how do you feel? Do you feel like this actually gave Xbox more of a better advantage? Or are you still like, so-so, or you need to see more? How do you feel all in all between the Xbox and Sony wars? Are you pro Sony, PS5, or are you pro Microsoft Xbox Series, or are you neutral, or are you a PC person? Guys, let your boy know in the comments. I really do appreciate it. If you like this video podcast, please don't forget to smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And feel free to leave in the comments, guys, any other articles or segments that you want me to talk about. I'll take a look at it, and depending on what it is, I'll definitely try to do it. But if I don't, we'll either get around to it another time, or I'll just try to look up something else too that may be a little bit more agreeable, or something that I'll be willing to do. But to everybody out there, guys, this is your boy Heemscast Gamer signing off with another podcast. And of course, this first video podcast. I will definitely see you guys soon with more content. To everybody out there, peace till next podcast, and of course the next stream.